50 claims he had to send Lil Meech to rehab because he was allegedly high on set while filming BMF.
Son guy is a addict.
Right. Yeah, 50 said he put him in rehab.
Yeah, his son's a addict. You're broke after $5 million? And you got a habit and a clothes habit, but you don't got nothing saved up, and you Big Meech son, you haven't found a way to run it up and take our name, and you gotta think what I'm saying as a failure.
Just a chandelier. I might have seen Yo do that Cali with this song. Just that big boy. 2 million.
Lil Meech got Richard Millie's chrome heart jeans, 10,000. I buy some chrome hearts for 10,000. I might wear them for a month, bro.
I'm still trying to find myself. My dad was calling me from jail every day. He was like, man, what you gonna do? Shit, I don't know. I always knew I wanted to be my own person. It's just hard, to live up to my dad's name.
Consequently, FY submitted revealed that Lil Meech's financial issues are caused by both his purported nitrous oxide addiction and his careless spending. 50 Cent revealed in a message shortly after Lil Meech was spotted with Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather that Lil Meech had blown all of the money he made from BMF. We're talking millions here. But that wasn't all. In addition to purchasing Lil Meech, Fit is now asserting that, in addition, he covered the cost of his acting lessons and stepped in when Meech was misusing narcotics severely. More insiders are now confirming Fit's claims that Lil Meech has been struggling with a whippet addiction, which is slang for laughing gas, or nitrous oxide. Lil Meech allegedly wasted all of his BMF money on fancy clothing, pricey jewelry, and his claimed whippet addiction, rather than securing the bag and setting himself up for success. Consequently, when his father, Big Meech, after serving more than 20 years in prison, Lil Meech found his home empty. The continuing conflict between 50 Cent and the Finney father-son team, as you are all aware, began when Rick Ross stepped in and used the occasion to get revenge on 50 Cent. But are the reports of Lil Meech's addiction true? Did he really blow his money on drugs and ruin everything Fitty had created for him? Now let's analyze this.
So I met 50. 50 put me in acting classes for 2 years in LA. Invested in me, paid for the acting class. I had to go every day, two times a day.
Lil Meech appears to be still unhappy about 50 Cent cutting him off, and he's not holding back. Everything began last month when Rick Ross and Big Meech decided to stage a welcome home event, but it was called off. Then, 50 Cent accused Big Meech of snitching, but no one anticipated that 50 also betrayed Big Meech's son, Lil Meech, who portrays the main character in the television series BMF. Lil Meech hit FY to clarify it that he didn't love Rick Ross after noticing that he had unfollowed him on Instagram. In addition to swearing loyalty to 50, Lil Meech actually wrote F. Ross, proclaiming, "I would take my shirt off my back for you. This man is unbelievable. You behave as though I were your adversary. I have only been faithful and kind to you. I'm a human. Additionally, I go through my own, but I never betrayed you." But that didn't hold up over time, because when 50 sent it, it didn't match the energy and implied that Lil Meech might be expelled from BMF. Meech changed his mind and went to Miami to party with Floyd Mayweather and Rick Ross instead. A few days later, Lil Meech shared an enigmatic photo showing himself and his father, Big Meech, hanging with Floyd. It simply included the fishing face emoji, suggesting that they were working on a significant project behind the scenes. Currently, there are some fresh reports going around from people close to them. It looks like Floyd and Big Meech might be forming a business relationship. But this is where things become really complex. Lil Meech's rhetoric of loyalty turned out to be little more than his fumbling when 50 Cent cut off his primary sources of cash. Rumor has it that Lil Meech squandered all of his BMF money in a few years, but instead of selling it or making sensible choices, he allegedly spent millions on luxury clothes and jewelry, living the life of a rap star without any rap career to back it up. He also showed off his flex and boasted on social media about spending $2 million on an iced-out watch.
It's the chandelier. I might have seen Fat Jordans in Cali with this on. It's that big boy, man. 2 million.
Tanyo claims that Meech was also behaving haughtily and even suggesting to Lil Baby and others that they ought to give Big Meech money. In essence, Lil Baby pretended that people were only expected to give him cash. And to make matters worse, you disclosed that Lil Meech was soliciting donations while simultaneously spending $100,000 on pants. I apparently burned through $5 million in just 3 years, spending it on cars, clothes, and jewelry, and making 0 investments.
Okay, so the show was successful, 3 seasons in. Lil Meech was making money, but he was spending it hand over fist. Like you said, there was the Richard Mille watch, which he got, almost
I mean,
arrested
you see
over.
it yourself.
There
It was
all
shit.
all the clothes.
Yeah, it's
I'm seeing Go Yard luggage.
yeah.
Like, this is shit that I afforded later on in life.
Come on, man. Oh, and then you in Atlanta at that when indulging spending money. Like you see a mouth with 100,000 poking out his pocket, doing 40,000-50,000 in the club. That's what you around. You gonna spend money. Chrome heart jeans. You got 10 pair of those. Do the math. What's that? 100,000? Shout to Chrome heart. You know what I'm saying? But you know me, I get some Chrome hearts. I'm gonna wear them for at least 2 weeks. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say. But I felt like when we left there, it was a money thing because what Lil Meech said about the Ferrari and Little Baby having 4 pockets full of money and didn't give his pops nothing. You know what I'm saying? Me, I would have never, I wouldn't even have mentioned no shit at the front of real, and that's just me.
The fact that Lil Meech admitted that he was perplexed, without direction, and had no idea what to do next when he first met Fighty just serves to increase the strangeness of the whole situation. He could have easily recruited someone with real experience who wouldn't be a liability, but FY saw his potential and took him under his wing, even covering his 2 years of acting lessons.
I was still trying to find myself. My dad was calling me from jail every day. He was like, man, what you gonna do? Like, shit, I don't know. I always knew I wanted to be my own person. It's just hard, to live up to my dad's name. And he called me one day, he's like, man, they looking at Terrence Howard and Nipsey Hussle. And I don't know if he's gonna be able to play me, but you gotta go to acting class so you can get ready. So I met 50. 50 put me in acting class for 2 years in LA. Invested in me, paid for the acting class. I had to go every day, 2 times a day, 5 days a week. In the morning, in the afternoon, come back home, study again, do the same thing the next day.
Wow, and I ball play.
Yeah, I put in the work though, and it showed me that 50 couldn't get me the job. I had to get myself the job. My dad couldn't get me the job. They would have hired somebody else that already had acting experience. I had no experience, so I was coming from.
You would think Lil Meech would be more careful not to blow it, since FY risked everything on him and gave him the opportunity of a lifetime. But it appears that he thought he could continue to get millions of dollars and live a lavish lifestyle permanently. This is where things get weird. Upon discovering that Lil Meech was allegedly addicted to whippets, also referred to as Nitrous, FY covered the cost of his treatment and dropped another shocking revelation. Meech would come get high, and FY assisted him in becoming clean. Oxide, or lime gas whipping cream canisters filled with nitrous gas, are referred to as whippets, since they are opened to provide a quick high. Over time, the phrase became colloquial for the recreational use of nitrous oxide, especially at clubs and parties. Whippets, which have become more popular among celebrities, have caused unpleasant consequences. Nitrous oxide can cause several serious health issues and reduce the amount of oxygen that is available to your body and brain. continuous use can be lethal, leading to death, brain injury, or unconsciousness. Whippets may still be seen by some as a harmless party trick, although nitrous gas has been linked to several terrible fatalities, including Aaron Carter's. In recent times, there have been rumors that Kanye West might also be hooked on his possessions. One of his former workers even said that Kanye has been keeping up his nitrous supply by seeing a private dentist.
Ryan Garcia, this Jay, I'm on the nitrous.
And I was at the dentist office the other day. I was taking a nitrous oxide. I suggested if anybody's like stressed out.
Referring back to Lil Meech's purported addiction, FY recently shared that Big Meech has consistently taught his son that it's okay to use drugs and waste money, making him a bad role model. The most absurd part of FY's allegation is that he is the only one who has actually taken on the role of a father figure and tried to assist L in getting back on track. FY revealed that during BMF filming, Lil Meech completely collapsed as a result of his substance misuse, and Fitty had to step in and provide him the support he needed. Irrid FI wrote, in reference to it, "I think he was uncomfortable with me and Mimi. Mimi stated that it was cool when I told him that I didn't want him to do X. He informed me how much money he had squandered, and I ordered Mimi to stop wasting all of her money. People were unaware that I needed to send Mimi to a rehabilitation center. What the fizz whippets?" I cried out when Ann revealed that the Tiny had them in his car. The problem is BB guns, but is there any hard proof that Lil Meech is combating nitrous addiction, or was Fitty causing trouble? Fitty was not being messy, as it turns out, and according to several industry insiders who had collaborated with Lil Meech, his substance misuse has long been known. Brick Baby, an underground rapper, recently informed DJ Vlad that Lil Meech is definitely an addict. Additionally, Brick Baby chastised Lil Meech for wasting all of the money he received from BMF without taking his father into account or doing anything tangible to ensure his future.
His son is a addict.
Right. Yeah, 50 said he put him in rehab.
Yeah, his son's a addict.
Look, man, the fact...
I kicked it with Lil Meech, and you know he getting money and all that now, but this is like my unc's son. Like this is Big Meech, a dude that I was up under when I was 17, and I seen him, and his dad hates you and all that. So just like the lean and the opiates, like you gotta think that wasn't in when Big Meech left. So you look at he looking down at drug addicts. So at the end of the day, I feel like Meech came home and felt like his son was a failure as far as what was going on.
A failure? That's crazy.
Broke. No, hold on. You're broke after $5 million, and you gotta have it in the clothes habit, but you don't got nothing saved up, and you Big Meech son, you haven't found a way to run it up and take our name. And you gotta think what I'm saying as a failure, not a failure like, oh, you da-da-da-da, but as far as you were in position to keep the name going, and your $5 million went to you doing what? So now I come home and I'm looking for help from everybody else, but I put you guys in position in order to do something with my name and put some money up for the family.
Yeah.
By discovering old interviews and videos, fans are also learning more about Lil Meech's past and starting to make some inferences. They say Lil Meech seems to be on something in a lot of these clips. They're pointing to interviews in which Lil Meech seemed sleepy and bleary-eyed, as though he was struggling to remain up, and even odd videos of him acting strangely, like when he started arguing with Pope's employees. What about that moment? L decided that it would be a good idea to pretend he was a minor to avoid being arrested, even though he was 22 years old and about to turn 23 at the time of his arrest. Additionally, in an effort to persuade TSA officials that he was a celebrity, he tried to play the "Do you know who I am" card by mentioning 50 Cent.
I know, but unfortunately there's certain procedures we have to follow anytime something comes in that's prohibited, correct? You understand that, correct? Do you have your ID on you?
Sir, my ID's in my bag.
In the bag?
Yes, I'm a minor, sir. I have security guards. They left that in my bag, sir. I did not pack my bag.
Where'd you get that all straight?
I have security guards, sir.
Okay.
See how much jewelry I have on me?
Listen, that's okay if you got that. The problem is bringing it into the checkpoint.
Sir, but I would
Just
never
have a seat
do
for
that.
me.
My mom's a flight attendant.
Just have a seat.
I would never do that, sir. I promise you, man. I went to private school. I'm a good kid, man.
I'm not saying you're bad. Have I mistreated you or anything?
Not at all. Not at all, sir. I can't tell you, sir.
But you understand the severity of what is occurring, right?
I would never do this. I fly every week.
Listen, if what you're telling me is true, we can work things out, okay?
Please, officer, please.
But there's procedures we have to follow. There looks like possibly 2 guns and a few mags. He's saying that he's an actor and he has private security guards.
Does he have security weapons permission?
No, he doesn't have a...
Listen, sir, I just want to tell you.
His ID and everything's supposed to be in the bag.
Listen, sir, I want to tell you 1 second. I fly every week, sir. I have security guards. When you're rushing to the airport, I have a premiere. I'm an actor. That's why I have a big chain. Me and 50 Cent have a TV show.
Okay.
Sir, this will ruin my life.
Do you have a concealed weapons permit?
No, sir, but I
Sit
never...
tight, don't tell.
Meech first admitted to the TSA officer that he had forgotten to pack his luggage, which is one of the last things you want to say at an airport. He worsens it by claiming that, despite being 23, he is a minor. Even worse, Lil Meech asks to have his ID taken from his bags at one point. But why would you tell the police that you're a juvenile and then remove an ID that makes it obvious you're not? Now that Fiddy has surfaced, people are furious over the total disaster. Fans were sympathetic to Lil Meech when the entire conflict between FY and Big Meech started, and they even chastised FY for unfairly punishing him for his father's crimes. Additionally, many thought that FY was incorrect to make public the text messages that L-Me gave him, interpreting it as Fiddy using Lil Meech as a vent for his anger toward Rick Ross. Fans are starting to reconsider, though, particularly in light of Lil Meech's exposure. Is making 50 Cent feel bad by spending time with Ross and Floyd Mayweather. Lil Meech publicly attacked Ross a few weeks ago and vowed to be faithful to Fiddy. So this is not a good look. Now that El-Mek has been shown to be a liability, some are claiming that FY was correct to fire him before things got out of hand. Fans are claiming that Fit's answer was appropriate given the accusations circulating regarding Lil Mek's purported nitrous oxide addiction, because Fiddy went above and beyond for Lil Meech, behaving as a... How do you feel about all of this? Was it appropriate for F Cent to interrupt Lil Meech? What are your thoughts on the reports about Lil Meech's addiction to nitrous oxide? He was given opportunity after opportunity by a father figure, who also invested in him and paid for his rehabilitation.